Dumelang Mzansi, Sanbonani. Welcome to the Health Club, proudly brought to you by GEMS, the Government Employees Medical Scheme. I'm your host, Clement Manyatela. Today, we are unpacking something we don't talk about nearly enough: how gender shapes our health and why it's time to take that seriously. Whether it's menopause or maternal care, prostate checks or mental health, women and men face unique challenges that often go undiagnosed, untreated, or simply ignored. In this episode, we're not only opening up the conversation, we're normalizing it. What are the signs we need to look out for? What support is available? And how do we break the silence that keeps too many people suffering in private? From clinical expertise to personal stories, today we focus on body, the mind, and the courage it takes to look after both.
Guys also get a menopause as well as we get older, and we have almost exactly the same symptoms.
About 70% of the women will actually have vasomotor symptoms and night sweats.
Menopause, I always say, is best to explain in the simplest of terms. There is puberty, where a girl goes into her periods, and if she has sex, she'll fall pregnant. Menopause is the exact opposite.
Welcome back. You're still tuned into the Health Club, proudly brought to you by GEMS. We're joined in studio by two experts who've dedicated their lives to improving gender-specific health outcomes. We have Professor Dineo Matsela, who is an obstetrician and gynecologist. He's also president of the South African Menopause Society. We're also joined by Professor Shingai Mutambirwa, who's a urologist and a men's health advocate. Prof, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
First of all, can we just talk about why we are so scared to talk about men's issues, women's issues? Why is there so much stigma still?
Culturally, women are not comfortable to talk about menopause. And this is something that has gone on for years on end. And it is not only a problem that you find here in South Africa, it goes across sub-Saharan countries. So you find all sub-Saharan countries, people are uncomfortable to talk about this. Over and above that, you also find that the culture and the tradition makes women to feel very comfortable to be in that space of menopause. And as a result, even when the problems that are related to menopause occur to them, they are made to understand that no, there is nothing wrong in being menopausal. But what gets forgotten in the process is that these women are suffering, and they suffer in silence because there's nobody to actually come to them and talk about this. And that's one of our major goals in the Menopause Society, to say we want to eradicate this culture. We want to eradicate these taboos that make women to remain silent as far as menopause is
Professor
concerned.
Shingai, equally so with men. I mean, already we live in a society where we're told we shouldn't be talking about certain things, and it doesn't help us when we don't talk about these issues.
And the fact of the matter is that when Dineo is as head of the Menopause Society, she'll know that guys also get a menopause as well as we get older, and we have almost exactly the same symptoms. And I think one of the things that we have to remember is that we're all interrelated, and if you have a problem with a partner, whether it's heterosexual or homosexual, whatever, it's important for you to have a discussion as well. And I think especially for the female partners, for guys, you must talk to the guys and explain to them that this is what's happening.
What are the consequences, Prof, when we are not talking? So when women are not talking about these issues, how does that affect their ability to get support and even treatment?
When a woman goes through the problem of menopause, there are certain changes that occur in her, and the central nervous system is changing. She has mood swings, she has sleep disturbances, and suddenly the husband is thinking, who is this person? And so if he doesn't have the enough knowledge, how is he going to support his wife? So that is why we are saying this is not just a journey of this woman, it is a journey of this couple, and hence our existence.
Sometimes it's the support that people don't have, Professor Shingai, where when you start talking about some of the issues you're facing as a man, health issues, then you're seen as less of, or you can, satisfy someone at home if you've got erectile dysfunction, for instance. There's still so much shame that's associated with that.
Guys should also consider this as a learning episode, not only for ourselves as we get older, but even as children. We must talk to our male children and our female children, but particularly the male children, to understand that we're different biologically. There are things that are going to change when we get into a different life space, and it doesn't matter, even it might be from 20 to 21, it might be from 20 to 50. There are differences. We have to make the effort to actually incorporate that and have a discussion. And I think that's the biggest issue in communication. We have to get better communication between partners as well as with our healthcare providers and everybody in the community, like Danae was saying.
Yeah, in fact, we do have other people that are talking. Before we continue this conversation, let's take a moment to hear from someone who's experienced the weight of the silence firsthand. Xoli Madlala shares her personal journey through menopause, what it meant for her health, her identity, and the way people responded to her.
My name is Xoli Madlala, originally from Pietermaritzburg, and I am the founder of Redefining Menopause Africa. I am the author of the Perimenopausal Globetrotter. I work with Corporate SA to change the menopause narrative and also just to get communities out there to understand also what menopause is about. Menopause, I always say, is best to explain in the simplest of terms. There is puberty, where a girl goes into her periods, and if she has sex, she'll fall pregnant. Menopause is the exact opposite. Periods are coming into a complete stop, as in they're never gonna come back. And if a woman has sex, once she's reached menopause, she's no longer gonna fall pregnant naturally. And for a woman to be deemed to have reached menopause, she needs to have gone through 12 months straight without a period. And the natural ages of menopause are from the ages of 40 to 55, and 51 being the most common age. It is important to have menopause conversations for a number of reasons. Firstly, there's so much lack of information. Most women do not know that there's this last phase of life that they're gonna go through. I, myself, never knew about it also, because whether at school, we are hardly spoken or taught about it. Our parents hardly speak about it. Society in general never speaks about it. I personally went into premature menopause at 38. And premature menopause is when menopause happens before the ages of 40. I would say everything was unexpected because I was not prepared at all, which is why menopause preparation conversations are very important so that women don't get surprised or shocked into menopause. So I was shocked by the physical changes when I struggled with things like loss of balance, because I've seen only older people when they try to get up and then like dizinyana, then they have to compose themselves. So when I was struggling with those things, obviously I was like, what is going on? The fact that normally we speak menopause, sisha higher grade, ikhuluma in English. So my thing was like, people need to speak with someone ozogathi ezokuthini omasibona bogogo behlale bethi hi, actually it was them going through hot flashes. When you think about, at some point you'll see 3/4 beds in the bedroom of your parents or your grandparents. Possibly the phase of life had happened, and then to coexist better, then they had to go that route. So it is very important for me to be that voice and that change.
Welcome back. You're still tuned into the Health Club, proudly brought to you by GEMS. Professor Matsela, what are the most common issues, health issues that are affecting women? I know we spoke a lot about menopause, but for women watching us at home and have gone through this, what are some of the issues that are affecting them?
One of the commonest symptoms that women will complain about is what we refer to as vasomotor symptoms, right? And this is a major problem that these women will complain about. And that is that sensation where they will feel some heat, which is taking place on their faces, their necks, and then the upper part of the body. So usually, for the longest time, it was thought to start when women have already stopped menstruating, which is when they are menopausal. But in actual fact, this start during what we refer to as perimenopause. So this is what will disturb women greatest. About 70% of the women will actually have vasomotor symptoms and night sweats. So if clearly you have vasomotor symptoms, these hot flashes, you'll not be able to sleep, you'll have mood swings, and if you are a career woman, clearly your function at work will go down. If you are not having enough sleep, what is going to happen to your performance at work? It will be decreased. And people who are working with you, instead of them supporting you, they actually look at it in a negative way. And if at home, obviously you have your children, you have your husband as well, she's seeing this woman who has suddenly changed. So vasomotor symptoms is one of the major problems.
And what about men, Dr. Shinga?
Yeah, I think, like Neo said, I think I'd like to break it down into, like, for our purposes, only three main things that are going to be impacting us. One, they're all what we call non-communicable diseases, things which you can't be, not infections and such. Heart disease, strokes, loss of limb, cancers, and psychological problems as well. And I think we must remember that all of them are interrelated. If you've got one of these because of menopause or for whatever other reason, it's going to impact on the other ones. And we have to remember that we have to have a holistic view about what we're doing. We have to base it on the fact that we have to change our lifestyle, no smoking, better bit of physical activity, and that all of these have an impact even on menopause as well. But then there's specific therapies we can do. And for example, one of the big myths is about hormonal therapy for females when they get into menopause, that it's dangerous. Because we know that the two main cancers in men and women are both hormonal cancers, essentially, after skin cancer, breast cancer, and prostate cancer for guys. A lot of this is based on hormones, but we have to remember that there's things that we can do to balance this out. Absolutely. And if you have a problem, investigate, but also go and see somebody with an interest in your health, whether it be sexual, be it cardiovascular disease, heart attack, strokes and things, or whether it's a psychological. I think psychological is so underestimated. And even when it comes to, as we get aging, with menopause and even with the menopause for men, stress, depression, all of these things are one of the biggest killers, and they're all causing the same things like heart attacks, strokes, loss of limb, and cancers.
So, Professor Matsela, how do women at home get empowered then? Because sometimes we don't even know much about our bodies. How do they understand that these are the stages that the body will go through when I get to this particular age? How can they get that information?
I keep on saying that one way in which we have to empower them is basically what you are doing now. Media is one way. True, also institutions, we are producing doctors, we are producing nurses. These are the people who also have to help us. We also have to go out there in the communities and empower our people, simplify the language, the medical language, so that they can understand. And it is only in that way that we will change the behavior and make the people understand that this is a journey. I keep on referring to it as a journey. And it is only when you have knowledge that you will be able to cope with all the physiological changes that are going to occur to you as a woman.
Yeah. And Professor Shinga, are there other things we can do? I mean, you spoke about prostate cancer earlier. I mean, how many men actually do go for checkups, for instance?
Well, again, I must echo what Danae was saying, that I think the media, you guys have played a great part. We've actually improved through the Prostate Cancer Foundation, for example, that screening is now a much bit more open thing that's going on. But I think it's also a matter of interactions between private, public, media, everything.
Absolutely.
Like the African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, you go together. And I think that we must remember that it's not just by yourself. You need other people and other things and other information that will also help you, including the fact that you're going to be possibly seeing our healthcare providers on a regular basis. And women, by the way, are much better. One of the reasons why they live longer is because they see their healthcare providers 5 times more in their lives than men. Yeah. And guys, we wait for things like heat to think that we got high blood pressure. No, it's nonsense. Rather get yourself checked, talk to your friends, talk to your family, but also remember your friends and the family can also be problems, even your healthcare provider. Yeah. Always get a second opinion if you're not sure.
Always get a second opinion. Lastly, there are young people watching us who are wondering, what do I need to be aware of as a young person? Professor Matsela, young women out there, what do they need to be aware of in as far as common health issues that affect them?
Well, It's a very wide spectrum. I don't understand when you say young women, because we start with the ones who are before they menstruate. Well, in the younger age group, obviously, they will come with menstrual problems, and we teach them about the changes that will occur to them. Then we go beyond that, then they get to the reproductive age group. There are problems as well which are related to pregnancy and so on. And to be honest, this is another golden opportunity for us to also talk to these women while they are still in the reproductive age group, to say, you are going to finish this reproductive age group and you are going to carry on with your journey. And at that time, this is when we need to actually start to sensitize them about the importance of them understanding their bodies and the changes that are going to occur as they grow older. Yes.
For young men, young adults?
Yeah, I think, like Nina was saying, I think it's important to remember that you must take control of your health from the beginning, from day one. Parents are very good usually of taking care of their children, and one of the issues that why women also live longer is because from 18 up to the age of 16, females and males have similar outcomes for various heart attacks, things like that. But after that, females improve better than men because they still continue to follow a fact that they're going to get checked regularly. So I think it's important for us to remember to take, just because you're young or whatever middle age, you need to get checked. One of our colleagues, remember, even passed from colon cancer. Colon cancer is one of the things that we can't really pick up early. A lot of big things, but just for one final point I'm going to plug, because I'm part of HPV vaccination. I think that's a big thing that and GEMS actually, it does not sponsor, it actually pays for HPV vaccination. It's a huge thing. Cervical cancer is the commonest cancer in South Africa for killing patients. And it is completely preventable if we get HPV vaccinations done, both for men and for women, by the way, because it also has, penis cancer can also be, and oropharyngeal and anal cancers are all related also to HPV.
Okay. Professor Matsela and Professor Shingai, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
A big thank you to our guests, Professor Dineo Matsela and Professor Shingai Motambira, for their wisdom, their clarity, and for reminding all of us that gendered health is not just a medical issue, it's a human one. The more we talk, the more we know, and the more we know, the better we care for ourselves and each other. After the break, we'll take a closer look at how GEMS is providing tailored healthcare support, from screenings to counseling and everything in between. Stay with us. The Health Club continues after this. Welcome back. You're still watching The Health Club, proudly brought to you by GEMS. Today, we've explored the real differences in how men and women experience health care and what's at stake when those differences are ignored. The good news is support does exist, and GEMS is leading the way with programs that speak directly to these needs. Whether it's screenings for prostate and breast cancer, menopause management, mental health services, or maternal care, GEMS is making sure gender doesn't become a barrier to good health. But don't just take our word for it. Here's how GEMS is showing up for men and women in ways that matter.
I am the manager for ambulatory benefits management for GEMS within the healthcare management division. Anything that has to do with out of hospital, like primary healthcare services, GP visits, preventative and screening services, and the disease management programs for members that are suffering from chronic illnesses. When it comes to health and also healthcare, because there's a difference between health and also healthcare. So when it comes to that, when it comes to men specifically, those that is a population that is not likely to go and seek out health services. That's the population that will often go to the doctor or a nurse when they are actually ill. So as GEMS, we run a lot of campaigns when it comes to educating men bringing in the awareness as part of the offering, the service offering that we have. So these campaigns run in a form of the social media campaigns, the webinars, and also we send SMSs to the whole population, including men. When we look at the stats globally, as the country, we are lagging behind. And also GEMS is the scheme, because we are all within in South Africa, we fall at a risk of not attaining the targets that we would like to see in terms of the uptake of these services. And advice goes two ways. Both, it can go to men, it can also go to women as well. Because as an individual, it's very important that you do your health screening. Then during the course of the year, as there's other campaigns that we're running, like the flu vaccine campaign, which we start around April, and it goes through up until the end of August. When it comes to the GEMS environment, it is a medical aid, so we have to manage the finances very well. So we have realized that we won't be able to target the whole population, including both men and women. So it is better now to at least include those that are at risk. So beneficiaries, the same way as the main member, do have the same benefits, so they get to enjoy the same benefits, especially when it comes to the preventative and screening benefit, because it's not a benefit allocated per membership. It's a benefit that is allocated per beneficiary. So each a single person in that membership has got access to those. And also when it comes to the disease management programs, the beneficiaries also do have access to those.
It's commendable that GEMS is recognizing that gender does matter in healthcare and that they're building real programs that respond to the unique needs of both men and women. Let's take a look now at how that commitment comes to life in this week's GEMS News.
Greetings, I'm Dr. Stan Molwabi, the Principal Officer of GEMS. Every few years, GEMS members are given the chance to shape the future of the scheme, not just in principle, but in practice. This is one of those moments. Voting will take place from the 7th of July until 6th of September. Members will receive a voting pack by email, SMS, or post. It will include candidates' information, a ballot paper, and a clear instruction on how to vote. Once voting closes, the results will be independently audited and certified. The 3 candidates who receive the highest number of votes will be elected as trustees. This is your opportunity as a member of the scheme to choose who speaks on your behalf, who oversees the governance of the scheme, who ensures that the scheme continues to run with integrity and impact. This is your scheme. These are your trustees. This is your future. Ensure that you are part of shaping its future by voting. Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of another powerful episode of the Health Club. We've learned that gender does shape our health journeys, but with the right information, the right support, and the right care, we can all live healthier and fuller lives. Thank you for joining us, and remember, your health is your power, and it starts with knowledge, honesty, and action. I'm Clement Manyatela, and this has been the Health Club, proudly brought to you by GEMS. Catch us again next week, same time, same place. Until then, take care of yourself and those around you.